Hi guys, it's Drea. Today I have a get ready with me basically. I'm going to be trying out a few new things, and also I have some newish stuff that I've used 1 to 2 times. I figured I'd throw it all in and we could talk about all of it. So first of all, I've already put sunscreen on my face. I just got this the other day in the mail. This is from Japan. That's where it was shipped from. I'm not sure which country it's actually originally from, but this is the Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Gel. I've heard this referred to as the Biore Watery Essence as well, but basically it's a sunscreen. It's SPF 50. Let me just put some on my hand for you so you can kind of see the texture of it. It's slightly runny. It doesn't really have a scent, but it feels really, really good on the skin. I've been using this a few days underneath makeup just on its own, and it works really good underneath makeup. So I wanted to mention it because I know that that's a struggle for me and a lot of you trying to find a sunscreen that's going to work really well and not mess up your makeup. I bought the Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydra Charged Prep Priming Spray. I don't know if this was one of the ones they used to have or if this is a brand new one, but they have reformulated their packaging. You don't reformulate packaging. They've redone their packaging. Anyway, I have used this a couple times. It smells fantastic. It smells like very coconutty and slightly sweet. And it's supposed to just, it has vitamins. It's supposed to just nourish your skin and also just kind of prep it for makeup. So I bought the HOURGLASS Vanish Stick Foundation. I bought mine in the shade Shell. This has really, really nice packaging. It's very actually hefty. Like, I don't want to say the word heavy because it's not heavy, but it has some weight to it. So just thought I would mention that. It's that kind of triangle. And you know, I've never really used a stick foundation ever. And so I really don't know how much to use, but we're gonna do half my face with a brush, and then I'll do half my face with this brand new sponge. It's from Vera. It's called the Cake and Bake Sponge. So I'm gonna use this for foundation, concealer, powder, all that jazz. First impressions wise, it went on very smoothly. It's kind of very creamy when you blend it out. It blended out really easily. It's like a very solid medium coverage. It does kind of look like it's gonna be super full coverage when you first put it on, but once you blend it out, it's a little bit more on the medium side. This shade, I would say, is pretty good for me. The only thing is it's just a little bit of a yellow tinge to it, but my neck never matches my face. My neck is always white. I don't know why that is. I don't ever self-tan. I get tan in the summer, but anyway, my neck is always white, so it's hard to always match my face to my body. But just kind of looking at it, it does look a little bit on the yellowish side. It does say this is more for concealing and baking, but I'm gonna just try it for foundation. This is full of water already. I just remembered that I did once use another stick foundation, the Anastasia one, and I really, really hated that one. So that's probably why I forgot that I used it. But this one with the sponge is kind of not as nice and smooth of a finish as I got with the brush, and I'm just adding a little bit more product right on that redness where it's not as full coverage. That's to be expected with the sponge. Usually though, it's going to sheer it out more. I'm gonna color correct before I conceal. Anything that I'm using that is not a first impression or a brand new product will still be listed down in the description bar below if you're wondering what else is on my face. So for concealer, I'm using the new Clinique Beyond Perfecting Super Concealer. It says camouflage and 24-hour wear. Mine is in the shade 06. It comes in a squeezy tube, which I don't love. I much prefer doe foot applicator, so I guess I'll just put a little bit on the back of my ring finger. This is why I don't like it, because it's hard to get the first amount on to see how much you need. I might be using way too much right now, but that's okay. That's what first impressions are for. So I'm going to use the flat kind of side of the Cake and Bake sponge. I like how it gets right up underneath the eye and into the corner like that. This would be great, I think, if you've done your eyeshadow first and you've done a wing or something and you just want to like get right up underneath it. This concealer has a really nice creamy consistency. It's not as full coverage as I thought it was gonna be when I saw the words camouflage, you know. I could still kind of see a little bit of dark circle coming through. Now I'm gonna use a little bit of my RCMA powder to set my under eye and bake my under eye and probably the sides of my cheeks as well. So I'm just dipping the sponge directly into the powder. I'll set the rest of my face with powder as well and move on to doing my eyebrows. Okay, so I've done my eyebrows, I've also done my contour and bronzer. I want to use both of my Clara Cosmetics palette. This London palette right here is brand new. I haven't used it yet. I have used the highlighter in it, which is really, really pretty, but I haven't actually used the eyeshadows. Now, the only matte shadow in here is the cream color, which I've set my primer with, but all the rest are just kind of lid shades. So that's what I'm gonna do, just use the lid shade from there, and I'll use my Clara Cosmetics Desert Rose palette for the matte shades. So I'm just gonna start off kind of with this warm brown right in the transition area. I'm gonna go into this kind of matte dusty mauve shade and put that directly in the crease, a little bit lower than that first shade. I'm gonna take the deepest kind of burgundy shade and put that right in the outer V. This is also a matte shade. Sometimes when I'm being lazy and I want to do underneath my lash line, I'll just take whatever is left over on my brush and just go for it and just sweep it under there. And I'm also just going to take a Sigma flat definer brush on the darkest brown matte shade and just outline my lower lash line. I'm just going to use one shade in this London palette. I think I'm just going to use that nice rosy mauve right there for all over my lid. And I figured I'd use the highlighter shade in here for my inner corner highlight as well. Those blended really, really well. As you can see, lots of pigmentation. The London palette with the lid shade, I didn't use any Fix Plus or wet that shadow at all, so it's not like it's blinging out or anything. I might try wetting it in the future. There is a little tiny bit of fallout, so I'm just gonna wipe it away. Okay, so I got a sample of the Kat Von D ink liner in Trooper. Now this is not the tattoo liner, which the tattoo liner has a brush tip. It's one of my absolute favorites. This one has a felt tip, which I'm really not used to using. So we'll try it out. I'm gonna put this on, see how it goes. Okay, there's a reason I don't like felt tip liners. It has no flexibility. I couldn't get it to work properly and I was making a huge mess. So I just switched over to my Physicians Formula and I put on some lashes. So now I'm just gonna do blush and highlight. I'm gonna use my NYX Ombre blush in Sweet Spring, which I've owned for a while, but I haven't even put on yet. So let's try it out. It is very pigmented though, so you have to use a very light hand with these. They do blend out really easily. That's what I like about these ombre blushes, and they just have really unique colors. Now, just the other day, I ordered off of Amazon because I couldn't find it in any store, the Maybelline Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter. This is in the shade Molten Gold. I tried it once, I liked it. It's kind of chunky. Now, it's a really beautiful color, and you can see just how metallic it is. The only thing about the formula, I think, it's very chunky and it kind of sits on top of the skin. I've only used it once though, so I'm going to continue to use it and see if my opinion changes. And for lips, I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk and the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in Little Stitches. Okay, so there you have it. There's the final face. I really, really like how it turned out. There's a few things I don't know about, a few things I really like. Let's just go through them really quickly. I already told you I love this sunscreen. It's so good. I'm really enjoying the scent of this and the way it makes my skin feel. So that I think is another big hit. I really like the sponge for how it gets right up underneath your eye. As for baking, it works really well for that too. It's not really a foundation sponge and it didn't really blend out my foundation as well as probably my L'Oreal Infallible one will, but you know, that's not what it's for. But for concealer and baking under the eye, I actually think this is really, really good. I'm gonna keep definitely using it. This foundation, I don't know, I expected to be way more impressed by it than I am. I like it, I don't love it. Like, I feel like my foundation doesn't look as skin-like as a lot of other ones that I have end up looking, but it is still a nice finish. We'll see how it holds up to my oily skin. Of course, I'll update you guys in the future. This concealer, I don't know about it. I think it's a really, really nice texture, really nice consistency. It blended out really well. It's not settling into any lines or anything, but it's definitely not full coverage. Like, I think you guys can still see how dark my circles are, even with color correcting underneath this. So this, I might give 1 to 2 more shots with it, and if it continues not to impress me, I'll just return it. The Clara palette, I'm just in love with this brand of eyeshadows. I hope to find more from them and use more from them. This is definitely not a hit for me personally, but if you like a felt tip liner, I think you'll really like it. It's very, very deep black, and it's matte as well. So if you're into that and you can deal with a felt tip, then you'll probably love it. And the very last thing, the highlight, like I think you can see is really, really pretty on camera, but it definitely does sit on top of the skin and it doesn't blend into the skin as well as I would like it to. I also think this is very easily dupeable. It's not like a really spectacular color that you've never seen before. You know, it's your standard nice gold highlighter. So at least you can find it at the drugstore now. Thanks so much for getting ready with me today. If you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out a lot. I hope that you really like this, me testing out a bunch of new stuff. And I will definitely update you with any further thoughts down in the description bar below. And definitely stay tuned because, you know, I always tend to update this kind of thing in my future hits and misses videos. So that's it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I love you guys and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.